And we are recording. Great. Hello, what is the crack, lads? How's it going? Today we are going to. I changed the format a bit. I think this is better. The only downside is I have to use my not very nice webcam, but sure we'll make it work, won't we? Right, there we go. So today we're going to be talking about John Piesse. I think that's how you pronounce it. That's how I'm going to say it from now on, anyways. This guy. He has been in the news lately for helping parents to essentially cheat the system and to help them get around Australia's very strict vaccination laws. I think Australia has some of the strictest vaccination laws, which would also make sense because they also have one of the most prominent anti-vax movements, at least from what I see around the internet. And those two kind of naturally would go hand in hand with each other. So it's, I think, from what I gather anyways, and from what other sort of health professionals have said in interviews and stuff, he is giving healthy children medical exemptions by, so I suppose, essentially just saying that they have, like conditions that they don't have. Because as far as I know, in Australia, the only exemption you can get is a medical exemption. I think in the States you can get a religious exemption as well. I don't know how that works. I don't live in either of those places. Okay, so I tried to make a video on this guy yesterday, and actually I did make a video on this guy yesterday, and then I tried to because for some reason I saved the file in the wrong format, and then I tried to reformat it, and it didn't work. But that doesn't really matter because it's worse than I thought. It is much worse. Oh, so I found this. This was shared around on Twitter. This is from a site called Diluted Thinking, which I really hope is like some sort of reference to homeopathy, because if it is, I can totally appreciate the pun. But yeah, it's essentially a website that I don't know, writes about alternative medicine in Australia, and I don't like alternative medicine. Natural medicine or natural remedies, yeah, sure, because like all modern medicine comes from natural medicine. Not to say that you can just go out and chew on a root and you'll be grand and then you shouldn't have to take, real medicine, because that's not how it works. But there are certain, like, for general, colds and coughs and just everyday bugs and stuff, yeah, there are natural remedies that will work. But all this alternative treatment stuff, it's a scam. And it's a cruel scam as well. Scamming sick people and scamming naive, vulnerable parents is not nice. It's not okay. So, this guy has actually been under investigation since 2001. But not for the same thing. He's been under investigation specifically in relation to vaccination since last year, but he has been investigated previously for having too many long consultations, too many prolonged consultations, and too many pathology tests, which is a bit weird. So this here is essentially like all of this, just sort of outlining exactly what he did. There's a lot of numbers that I don't really think we need to get into because it's not related to this video. And also, and this is the worst part, right here, let's see. Dr. Piesse failed to make appropriate investigations of patients' symptoms of possibly serious conditions such as cancer, meningitis, depression, and anemia, and that he used multiple B4 doses from one vial. That is disgusting. He's not only is he, having all these unnecessary consultations and doing all these unnecessary tests, which is costing other people money, he's also endangering the health and the lives of his patients. Absolute scum. So this whole case went on for quite a while, and in 2011, which, if you do the maths, is 10 years after 2001, when this was first brought to attention, so 10 years later, they finally they found a fit punishment for him, which essentially involved him providing a statement saying that he would not, and this is really concerning. Let's see, where is it? Where was it? I should have looked at this before. Oh, there we go. Yeah, provides a statement saying that he has not facilitated the administration of intravenous herbal infusions, genome therapies, and other therapies brought into the country by patients. Unless the therapies have been specifically approved by the TGA. I'm not quite sure who the TGA are because I don't live in Australia, but still. This is exactly what I mean when I say alternative medicine. I know this is meant to be about anti-vaxxers, and obviously that's why he's in the news at the moment, but I feel like this is quite important to bring up as well. All this, like, sneaky business of, like, taking drugs from other countries and bringing them into the countries and trying to find doctors who will give them to you. It's... if it was safe... No! There's this conspiracy, and it's not just in Australia, and it's not just in the States, it's everywhere. It's not that, you know, the government or there's some sort of conspiracy that you can't have this drug because we want to sell you these drugs, or you can't have these drugs because we want you to die. It's because they're not safe. Well, maybe they are, but we don't know if they're safe. They haven't been tested enough yet. And it's really funny how people who are anti-vax, and most anti-vaxxers are against all types, or most types of modern medicine anyways, how they'll blindly trust all this stuff that hasn't been approved, that hasn't been tested, but will say that vaccines which have been approved and which have been extensively tested, they're not safe. But all this stuff that we can't actually legally get in our country, that we have to import in, and that we have to, you know, find, you know, a friend of a friend of a friend who knows someone who will help us out, that's okay. Sure, that's fine. Doesn't matter if our doctor has been under investigation for the past decade. He knows what he's doing. It blows my mind how people just... I don't know, how some people... the mental gymnastics these people go through is unbelievable. He also had to do a 14-day critical thinking and research module. Yes, which which I'm sure he did. And now, this was in 2011, and you might be inclined, or the more optimistically inclined person may think that maybe he changed his ways, you know, maybe he learned something from that whole ordeal. But no, the realist among us may say that you can't teach an old dog new tricks, as it were. Because... and, okay, now this article is from 2000, and where is it? This one. It's from 2015, but when you read the article, this treatment that this poor man got actually started in 2011. You can see the headline here. It says, "Father says anti-malaria drug prescribed as an alternative cancer treatment nearly killed him." And it's horrific. So this man right here, where is he? So this man right here, Peter McClone is his name, had a bit of cancer. Shouldn't be saying that like that. He had cancer, and he was suffering with cancer at the time, and he went to Dr. Piesse to get a treatment. And this brilliant man, Dr. Piesse himself, decided that the best way to treat cancer, not chemotherapy. Nah, let's not get into that. Vitamin C infusions. And this drug called Artesian 80, which is a malaria drug for cancer. But yeah, so this essentially, and it's absolutely tragic and it's horrific. So this man ended up in a wheelchair. He described himself as being a vegetable, essentially, and he got these brain lesions, and he can never work again. And it's fortunately that he is in remission now because he got chemotherapy, which had he gone to a decent doctor, he would have gotten straight away, probably, and he never would have to go through any of this. So that brings us up to date. So earlier this month, there was a medical, well, not a medical, but like this underground alternative medicine conference or something like that. in which a colleague of Dr. Piesse, they work at the same natural healing clinic. Of course, they'd be freaking working at a natural healing clinic. These people, by the way, they never work in normal doctor's surgeries. They always work in natural healing or alternative medicine centers or something like that. And for the most part, they don't even have medical degrees. This guy does, but for the most part, they don't. But yeah, so one of his colleagues, Nerida James, I believe her name is, something weird anyways, stood up and bragged in front of the entire audience saying, we have helped 600 families, and we can come to us and we'll help you get that exemption, and there is hope. We'll help you get around it. We'll help you cheat the system, bend the law for you a little bit. Well, they're not bending the law, they're just ignoring it, really. And it's mad, because now normally I don't know exactly how all these people manage to find anti-vax doctors and stuff, because I don't know, I've never had to look for one, but from what I've seen when I go onto these anti-vax Facebook pages, which I do sometimes because it's fun to see them being idiots, but then sometimes I get angry and I have to stop. They normally, when people ask, do you know an anti-vax doctor in this area? Someone will automatically say, oh, well, I do, but I'm not going to say who it is because they don't want us to say publicly who they are. But if you contact me, then I'll let you know. And then you ring them, and then you say that you want an appointment, and you say you want an appointment with this specific guy. It's so creepy. Okay, I know it's just sending someone a private message on Facebook Messenger, and then ringing up a clinic and saying, I want to talk to this guy. It's not going down an alleyway and exchanging money and exchanging well not drugs, because they don't want drugs, but it's really creepy. If I want to make an appointment with my GP, I just ring up my GP. Really, it's like Scientology and Andrew Wakefield is like their L. Ron Hubbard. That's the only way I can describe it. And speaking of Scientology, and you couldn't make this up, right? It's beyond belief. So this woman, Nerida James, who stood up and bragged about her work with Dr. Piesse at the conference and busted them essentially. She's part of the Church of Scientology. I believe they both are. And she was part of something called the Get Off Drugs Naturally program, in which they would give addicts this drug called narconon. I'm not sure exactly where the emphasis is meant to be in that word, so I'm just going to pronounce it like that. It's probably completely wrong, but who cares? Narconon is this very it doesn't have any proven effect on drug addiction. It's not really meant to be. No one really knows if it works. It doesn't really have any sort of evidence to back it, but it exists, and it's given by the Church of Scientology to treat addiction. So they'll take people into rehab and they'll give them this drug. And so it has no known benefits, but it has a lot of known side effects, like heart problems and nausea, headaches, dizziness, fainting, back pain, and there have been, within the Church of Scientology, within their Get Off Drugs Naturally program, if I'm not mistaken, confirmed deaths linked to the use of this drug. I know for sure that there are confirmed deaths, but I can't remember if they were part of that particular program, but I think so, because I don't think anyone else uses that drug, because it's not a good drug. It's not good for anything. All it's good for is giving you no benefits and lots of side effects. Who would want a drug like that? Who could possibly have prescribed these drugs? Which GP would be stupid enough to prescribe a drug that has no real known proven benefits and lots of side effects? Yeah, boy, John Piesse. Oh, jeez. The Get Off Drugs Naturally program is currently being sued as well, by the way. So, and now this kind of brings us very much up to date. The sometime last week, and we've been on this for a while. Sometime last week, someone set up a GoFundMe. Is it this one here? Yes, a GoFundMe for this guy. No, this campaign does definitely not need my support. Go away. Yes, a GoFundMe to raise money for Dr. Piesse. And they photoshopped his teeth, by the way. Can we just look? Just look at those teeth, right? I'm not even being shady. Like here, like I have pretty bad teeth myself. Not that bad, but like I drink a lot of coffee. Right there, they're kind of stained. Right. Ah, Jesus. Can we just talk about that for a second? They photoshopped his teeth. That is actually too funny. But yeah, they have this really I'm not gonna read this out because it's pretty long. But the shady part about this is that first of all, if we go back to where were we before? Why does this keep popping up? Yes, if we go back here, we go all the way down here. This is all the Church of Scientology stuff, by the way. And this is the letter that he wrote. If we can just zoom in, the letter he wrote to basically say that here I'm prescribing people with Narconon. Yes, they set up this fundraiser, and they changed it. They didn't change it a whole lot. They said, you know, they kept in the part about the Mercedes and the skiing holidays. But here, when it was first put up on the 25th of August, it was to cover the legal fees. That was the point of this fundraiser. You alright, Dempsey? My cat has a cold. She's sniffling. I feel really bad. She's old. Yes, it was to cover legal fees. Which, you know, alright, sure, whatever. Or will help him during a time of financial pressure, they say here. And yeah, so essentially financial support because he's going through this investigation. But then, all of a sudden, they not only do they raise their goal, like their target, they also add in that it's going to be used to fund research. Research that at the moment, in this very moment, right now, he's not legally allowed to do, but we'll get into that later on. That's a bit weird. But it gets even weirder because they keep changing the amount that they're asking for. I mean, I get that there can be like a minimum amount, like this is what we need, and then like a maximum amount. I can't talk right now. A maximum amount, like, you know, this is what we would like. You know, ideally, we would like to get this, but we could do with just this. But still, it's just like 50,000 to 200,000. That's a bit of a big leap, but oh well. You know what? It's people are giving them money. They're at like 100,000 now. People are giving them money, and you know, well, like they can ask for whatever they want if people are willing to give it. Like people can decide for themselves what they want to, you know, donate their money to. And I mean, you'd think that with this Photoshop job, they might be raising money for some dental work, but no, they're raising money for research, apparently. Research to prove what cannot be proven because it is not true, because vaccines are actually pretty safe. Now people are sort of speculating, is this some sort of scam because they are part of like the Church of Scientology. They're quite good at asking people for money. Like, I know, I remember doing a project in school when I was like really, really, really young, when I was like, I don't know, 14 or something, right? And we had to in religion class we had to do a project on certain religions, and I did, and we couldn't do any of like the three major ones, so I picked Scientology. And I so specifically remember I actually got an A on that, just letting you know, right? I was really good at religion. For an atheist, I was extremely good at religion in school. Basically because it's like the easiest subject ever, but whatever. And the story of the guy who jumped off the roof of a building clutching his last few pennies because the Church of Scientology had taken everything from him. That is what I think of when I think of Scientology. It's a scam. It's a scam the same way that alternative medicine is a scam. So, I mean, I'm really not surprised that these people are part of the Church of Scientology. But, right, so that brings us up to yesterday, where he agreed to stop practicing medicine. And now, a few of us were a bit too optimistic, and this was probably just wishful thinking, but we kind of were of the understanding that this was indefinitely. It was not. He's actually only agreed to stop practicing for a few weeks. This was just like confirmed a few hours ago. I don't know what time it is in Australia right now. Here it's like afternoon, but yeah. So this morning it was confirmed that he was actually only, yeah, he's only not practicing for while he's under investigation. But I choose to remain optimistic because this guy is so in over his head now. I mean, with everything we just went through, I know he has lost all his credibility and all his redeeming qualities as a medical professional. He deserves to have his license revoked, and I really, really hope they do. And then he can go and join, you know, inspirational figures such as Andrew Wakefield, there who also has had his license revoked back in the day. Which, I mean, he's like the poster boy for anti-vaxxers. Like, that must be the end goal for any anti-vax doctor, to be like the great Andrew Wakefield and not be allowed to practice. Is that like martyrdom for them? It's like, oh, we're gonna go out here and we're gonna commit career suicide and we're gonna be almighty by saying that vaccines are bad, and we're gonna have all these parents give us all their money, and then we'll be told that we can't practice anymore, so then we have to sit around, and then people are gonna give us money anyways because we're saints. Like, it's crazy. The further you get into the further you get down the anti-vax rabbit hole, the more scared you become. Like, it's terrifying, really. Anyways, that pretty much that is the story so far. I guess in the coming days, the coming weeks, we'll see exactly what happens. I'm still hoping that he gets his license revoked, because he's a despicable human being and he deserves to not be allowed to practice medicine anymore. Oh, right. I'm gonna end this video here, because I've been talking for a very, very long time. I hope you like this. I hope that you, yeah, I don't know, I hope you enjoyed this video. And I shall see you in another video soon. I have to go collect my son from the Montessori now, I think, so I'm in a bit of a hurry now. I didn't realise how late it was. I shall see you soon. Take care. See us.